Hello guys, welcome back or welcome for those that don't know me. I'm Christian. Those that know me know, I started a series of tastings. First of all with Tokai, the most historical volcanic soils area or region. That is gonna continue in steps. There will be the trip, but I wanted to alternate with something that recalled the theme. So what was the natural consequence? Of course, Etna in Italy, my country. So I decided to start with the Etna Bianco today. Then there will be the Etna Rosso. So we have both white and red. Etna is the only active volcano where there is wine production. Is a special terroir in everything because you think is in the middle of the Mediterranean, but the mountain is 3,400 meters almost high, but even the vineyards are from 500 to 1,000 centimeters, which is changing completely the character. Of course, daytime is still very hot, but nighttime temperatures drop incredibly, so you can have really a different terroir from the Mediterranean basin. Another important point is that majority of the vineyards, the important vineyards, the more quality ones, are on the northern slopes, where it's more rainy and windy, and less sun, of course. Then, as you can see in the maps, is a crescent moon, the shape around the volcano. I drafted basically just to give you an idea. And the north slope, as you see, is the most prestigious. The main contrade, so the crews, are located there, but the production is in that crescent moon shape. We have different wines from different areas, different characteristics, so also that is interesting. Many compare the Etna to Burgundy. Fair for many reasons, but also Tokai is a very fair comparison, especially talking about the soils. Different because on Tokai you have all the volcanic soils, so very rocky or below the surface, but here is a young volcano, so you have much more inactive, so much more sand on top besides the rock, which is still mostly basalt, dark red or black, pumice, and then other kinds. But then there are rocks from the eruptions and a lot of sand, as I said, so it's a bit different. But majority of the vineyards on surface have sandy soil, which is also interesting for the elegance. So similarities to both. The contrade is a key point for the cru definition, like in Burgundy, but also like in Tokai, as you have seen in the other video. Contrada is still a quite expanded area. It's not really the single vineyard. In fact, I know that someone is already starting to talk about more strict locations, smaller areas as really single vineyard, because the soil may be a bit different, even the altitude, because here, as I said, we go from 500 to 1,000 something, is a lot. And some vineyards in the acreage, they are quite extended, so they may vary already 100 to 200 meters in the altitude, so even that can change already a bit. Then there is the point of the grapes. Indigenous, Carricante is the white, Nerello Mascalese is the red, but there are others. For the red, another one too, mostly, but there is Nerello Mascalese is really the huge proportion, while for the Bianco, Carricante must be at least 60%, but vary. Someone is doing 100%, as you will see later, some do 60, 80, and then you have a Catarato, the second main grape, plus can be even something else in very, very tiny proportion. So many factors. The traditional way making was either cement or big casks. In modern days, of course, you have winemaking style different. As I said, the Renaissance of Etna after a sleepy phase last century, started beginning of this century, mostly because of businessmen who came, even Sicilian, but still businessmen with money who invested and pushed the region. The acreage, so the hectares nowadays are still a small percentage of what it was 100 years ago, but they don't want to expand too much. That is good for the quality. The fact that you have still some very small artisan farmers making 5,000-10,000 bottles on the side of the bigger wineries, which are medium size anyway, not huge. Benanti probably was the historical name there of the big ones related to the territory. Others that we will see later are more newcomers, even if majority are still from the area, but with the investment capacity to push. So some stayed more to the traditional way, other are a bit more modernized cellars, etc. So we will see there are a lot of points. So I would say that the fairest way to classify is this is the hottest wine region in Italy and is something on its own that can be compared to Burgundy, to Tokai, even to other areas where there are the cruise, thinking about Piedmont, but is on its own for all the characteristics that it has, and is, we call it an island into the island, Volcano, because it's really something different compared to the whole of Sicily. So let's start with the tasting. This is Graci, Etna Bianco 22, 12.5 alcohol. The vineyards are mostly alberello, so bush, traditionally, on terraces. One of these is different. The last one, Murgo, we will talk later. That is espalier, so the traditional. Of course, in the lower altitudes and newer plantations, they are making that way in some cases, not all alberello. But in the case of Graci, is alberello. They are in the northern slopes. Is one of the first families, Sicilian, who invested on the Volcano in this century. So I know them since about 15 years. I tried many times. I enjoyed their white very much, but I didn't try 22 vintage yet. They are all 22 vintage. So we have the same vintage, but different places, different styles, different winemaking. Concrete and fine leaves for the aging before bottling. So one of the first families who focused, medium size. They are making Bianco, Rosso, and several Cruz. Is Sicilian family, but not related to the wine before. So it's one of those that are making the renaissance of the area without being part of the tradition, let's say. The first thing, smoky, is a classic of volcanic places, but Etna in particular. So smoky and mineral is the first note that comes out. Then the fruit, flowers, quite complex. So from smoky, mineral, flowers, fruit, good complexity. Some salinity. In general, the wines age well. Even the whites are very, very nice, even after a few years. This is still relatively young. It's very long, deep, persisting in the mouth. The mineral in particular, but the sweet white fruit, a touch of floral, a feel in the mouth all around. Great match with all rich seafood dishes from Sicily, rich pastas, cold cuts, even some white poultry. So the smoky is the first point. Now is more mineral and flowery. Changing. Very, very, very nice, elegant, complex. As I remember, it's a great wine. For sure, one of the best on the Etna still. Even if I didn't try all, many still not, but still remains one of the best indeed. Price is okay, it's not cheap. In Italy, about 25-27 euros is the most. I paid more, 27 and 25. I know that it's available in Asia, Hong Kong, I think Singapore, and some others. In Europe, a bit everywhere. America, I guess, but I didn't see. But I think so. So it's one of the good representatives of the area, and the quality is very high. I'm quite impressed even today. I am excited because I am a big fan, as some of you may understood, about volcanic wines, about elegant wines. This is even more interesting because of the active volcano, the indigenous grapes, the different combinations and styles and altitudes is even more various than everywhere else with that. And I didn't have for some time Etna, and for a long time the chance to try three together, and some of the very famous. Second one, Pietradolce, Faro family from Sicily, but businessmen also in other things. They started also quite early, but after Graci, I know them a bit since 10-12 years. I tried this white only a long time ago, and then any red more recently, but I don't know well the winery. If I remember, they have a famous Italian winemaker, so it's a bit of more not the tradition approach. Still in the aging, this is so still 22. Pietradolce said 13 alcohol at 800 meters altitude. Where is the winery? They have the vineyards there. I think, but I'm not sure, it's not specified, that the vineyards are quite young. Only Caricante, 100%. So this is one of the few that is 100% Caricante, still aged. 800 meters, 13 alcohol, so more alcohol even if it's higher altitude. Interesting. On the northern slopes near Graci, still Castiglione commune, but is another village. Solicchiata, while Graci is in Passo Pisciaro, but that doesn't mean anything. For these wines, they may have the vineyards spread it a bit around. Smoky first of all, then more fruity here. The mineral is less impactful than Graci. Some flowers, but the fruit is the one marking the most in this case. Still good complexity. Good structure also this one. We can say you don't mark the difference. Okay, half alcohol, half degree alcohol is nothing. Probably Graci is slightly more persistent. Also this good structure, good length, the fresh mineral remaining, and the fruit probably less mineral even on the palate. Both nose and palate less mineral. Medium complexity. Of course, in this kind of horizontal tasting, the best is making a difference compared to the others. Doesn't mean that the others are not good. This is also a great wine, but Graci has something more. I didn't decide before the sequence. Just this one as last one because of the oak. The other two, I gave a priority to the alcohol level, but probably was better Pietradolce first, since Graci is a bit more complex. Price similar to Graci, also about 25-27, quite available. Asia, Europe, I guess also America. So similar pairings as Graci, no problem. Indeed. Yeah, the fruit is the one marking the most. So let's go to the third one. Finally, the surprise possible, because I haven't been aware of this winery before, even if it's historical. This is the only one. They were there already under 50 years ago. Apparently, they are on the eastern side, so facing the seaside, at 500 meters, so lower. Tenuta San Michele, so Murgo is the winery, Tenuta San Michele is the estate where the winery is, so still 22 vintage. They are the only one organic certified, 12.5 alcohol like Graci. So since they don't have the best vineyards, they don't have the focus of the cruise, they make 2 whites and 2 reds, but without cruise. Since they had a slower process of development and the quality raised recently, so probably these are the reasons why they are not so famous. In fact, out of Italy you don't find much, a bit of European countries and not others, but let's say they suggested me this one as an interesting winery. Price is lower, of course, consequently is more in the 20-22 range euros. So I said they have the plantations all around the cellar, so it's in espalier style, so no bush, no alberello. I don't know if younger vines or not, because they declare to have even many old vines like the others, so that I cannot say. And they use big casks, so the real traditional way. First, smoky and mineral, the first thing. Then you have the spicy. Big casks used, no all new, don't think about barrique, but the spiciness is there. Very elegant actually, both the spiciness, so the oak action, and the fruit, very delicate. More elegant than Pietradolce on this. Quite complex. Indeed, the oak gives that touch, is different from the other two. The other two are more on the similar style, but it's traditional because the big cask was there and is making it a bit more complex for sure. Nice surprise so far. Very mineral, very fresh, really long. The smokiness also touching there. The spicy afterwards, so not that invasive. Feel in the mouth all the way. So we can say Graci is a bit more pure because the cement is really keeping it in the pure elements, pure characteristics. This with the oak gives a bit more micro oxygenation and more complexity, but it's still characteristic. Very nice. The fruit very delicate, very elegant. Touch of sweet fruit. Quite impressive. This is a big surprise. I'm happy of, even the price cheaper. Production I think is quite similar between them, but this is less known. Keep changing. So nice surprise. I'm very excited. Different, all three. These two a bit more similar. This one a bit on its own. In a way, we can say more Burgundian. Excited. I hope you enjoyed the explanation, the choices also that you maybe can find and have to try. If you like minerality, if you like volcanic, if you like elegant wines. These are safe picks to have really big pleasure. We are talking about 90 points around there, every one of them actually. So please like, subscribe, switch on after subscribe the bell for the alerts on the new releases, comment, question, whatever. As I said, interaction is very welcome. Please support us. I hope you enjoyed and see you next time. Salute!